Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for story time tonight. Cinderella is one of the most famous fairy tales of all time, and many different cultures have their version of Cinderella. Tonight we are going to be reading Abadeha, which was adapted by Myrna J. de la Paz. It's a Cinderella story from the Philippines. Once upon a time, in the islands called the Philippines, where sea stars bloom in a shimmering emerald sea, there lived a fisherman named Abak and his wife Abadeha and their beautiful daughter Abadeha. Underneath a happy sun and graceful coconut palms, the house where they lived was a castle of joy to little Abadeha. When Abadeha was 13, her mother suddenly became ill and died. She was buried in the cool shade of a nearby forest, leaving behind a daughter and a husband whose hearts were filled with sorrow and tears. Abadeha felt that her carefree world had suddenly crumbled. Sometime later, on a trip to another island, Abak met a widow with 2 daughters. The lonely widower married the woman and brought the stepfamily home, hoping that they would make a loving family for him and Abadeha. The stepmother immediately saw how plain and mean-spirited her daughters were compared to Abadeha's beauty and kindness. She secretly swore to make her new stepdaughter's life miserable. Of course, Abak had no knowledge of his new wife's evil side. With a large family to support, Abak had to go on more fishing trips that took him away for long periods of time. In his absence, stepmother began treating Abadeha harshly. She made Abadeha work from morning to night, cleaning the house, fetching water from the river, cooking all the meals, and tending the stove. "Why do you love to powder your face with soot, kitchen princess?" the stepsisters would mock her. Their constant taunting was now a part of Abadeha's life. Tired, sooty, sweaty, she would fall asleep each night on the kitchen floor. Whenever Abadeha was tired and tried to rest, stepmother would grab a broom and swing it through the air to harass her. "You good-for-nothing, lazy girl! Next time I will whip you with the tail of a stingray!" Stepmother would screech at the top of her voice. One morning, while Abadeha was scouring clay pots in the kitchen, stepmother threw 2 handkerchiefs in Abadeha's face and ordered, "Wash these 2 handkerchiefs until the white one turns black and the black one turns white. Do exactly as I tell you, or I will whip you until your bones crack." Sadly, Abadeha went to the riverbank. Sitting beneath the shade of a leafy bamboo, she watched the clear water freely flowing downstream. She remembered the life she had before her mother passed away. It was free and happy. Alone she wept. Through her tears she cried out, "Mother, oh mother, Badhala, creator of the earth, Anitos, spirits of my ancestors, hear me and help me, please." At the water's edge, the wind softly rustled the leaves of the trees. Abadeha turned and saw a beautiful woman, bathed in radiant light. Her gentle face was full of kindness. "I am the spirit of the forest, the faithful guardian of all that live and grow here. I have come because I have heard your cry for help. Do not worry. Your patience and hard work will be rewarded one day." Gently, she took the 2 handkerchiefs from Abadeha's hand and waved them with a flick in the air. Out of nowhere, 2 more spirits appeared, a man and a woman. They bowed to Abadeha and each took a handkerchief. Together they began a magical dance. Spinning about with delicate steps, they playfully chased each other. Pulling and tossing the handkerchiefs, they gracefully waved their arms above their heads, round and round, faster and faster. Swift as a whirlpool they went. Then suddenly they stopped and handed the handkerchiefs back to Abadeha. Amazingly, the white handkerchief was now black, and the black handkerchief was now white. Abadeha hurried home to give the handkerchiefs to stepmother. "So, kitchen princess was able to do this," snorted stepmother. For the first time, stepmother had lost a chance to make Abadeha suffer. The next morning, stepmother was still furious about the night before, and she continued to make demands on Abadeha. Abadeha had to spread newly harvested rice on a mat to dry in the sun. Then she was to pound, winnow, and cook the rice for the evening meal. While Abadeha was busy in the kitchen, a hungry pig wandered into the yard and gobbled up the drying rice, tearing the mat into tatters and shreds with its sharp hooves. Stepmother watched the whole time and did nothing until the pig left. Then triumphantly she called in Abadeha and screamed into her ear as she pulled on her hair. "Careless girl! See what the pig did to the rice in the mat? You must weave the ruined mat back into one whole piece again." Carrying the tattered mat, Abadeha cried all the way to the riverbank where the spirit of the forest had appeared before. "Mother, O mother, Badhala, creator of the earth, Anito, spirits of my ancestors, hear me and help me, please." This time the spirit of the forest quickly appeared and clapped her hands 3 times. In the wink of an eye, a group of young female spirits surfaced and started to weave the mat skillfully back together. In just a few moments, the mat was entirely new again. Before Abadeha could thank them, the spirit of the forest took out a sari manok, a chicken with a long flowing tail and feathers the color of the rainbow. "Take this with you. It is now yours." Abadeha said in awe, "I have never seen a more beautiful bird. I am so grateful for your kindness." Carefully, she put the sari manok in the mat under her arms and started the walk home. Stepmother was quite annoyed when she saw the fully restored mat. "If I ever find out how you are cheating me, you will be in terrible trouble." "And where did you get that wild bird?" stepmother said while grabbing the sari manok from Abadeha's hand. "But it is my pet," Abadeha pleaded. "I will take care of this bird for you," stepmother replied with a twisted smile. Early the next morning, while Abadeha was sweeping the yard, stepmother took the sari manok from the coop and without warning chopped its head and feet off with a knife. She went straight to the kitchen and began roasting the bird. As Abadeha came to the kitchen and saw the lifeless feet of the sari manok, she began crying bitter tears. Stepmother said maliciously, "This bird is big and fat. Dinner tonight will be delicious." Weeping, Abadeha gathered the sari manok's feet and ran to the river. When Abadeha reached the river, the spirit of the forest was there to meet her. "If my stepmother could do this to my pet, she can do the same to me." Abadeha sobbed as she realized the danger around her. Tenderly the spirit spoke, "Do not be afraid, my child. Go bury the sari manok's feet by your mother's grave and pray to your ancestors." Obediently, Abadeha did as she was told, and she planted a little garden around her mother's grave. Then she knelt down and prayed. "Since you left, O dear mother, the days are longer, the work is harder, my tears are flowing like a river. If I could touch you in my heart, I would be stronger." As if heaven was answering her prayer, a warm, gentle rain began to fall and wash away her tears. We will continue the rest of the story next week, so tune in then. Good night, everyone.